Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marchegiani here. Today we're going to be talking about binders for your gut health. When do I use binders with patients? We'll dive into that topic today. Before we do, please smash that like button. Really helps the search algorithm, and love to see your comments down below. So first off, what are binders? So we have a couple of good binders that we use in my clinic. So we have one product called GI Binder that's got three good ones. So it's got activated charcoal from either bamboo, right? This is going to be great. It's going to have zeolite, which is a kind of a volcanic mineral, if you will, fulvic mineral, which can be a really good binder. Chlorella is another good binder, really good for heavy metals, can bind up a lot of good stuff. Those are my big three in that product. You may also see things like bentonite clay, modified citrus pectin. These are all going to be good things that can soak up. They either absorb, so like think of like a sponge soaking up water, and think adsorb. Adsorb is like activated charcoal. Think about iron filings, and if I pull a magnet through the iron filings, what happens? Those iron filings start to stick to the magnet. Right? It's not absorbing it and soaking it up, but it's more electrically pulling it. That's how things like activated carbon, charcoal, from bamboo or coconut shells. Coconut shells are the other big one that we use as well. They can be wonderful at pulling out junk. Now, it can also bind up minerals. So when we use different binders like that, if we're eating a really junky meal or food that's going to be problematic, we may take binders with that food. The compromise is, hey, we may decrease our nutrient absorption, but that's okay because we know the activated charcoal is going to decrease some of the inflammation. It's going to decrease the methane gases and maybe the inflammation and the gas and the issues. It's going to decrease the absorption of some of that food that may be problematic. So we may want to add some of those things in there to decrease the absorption and have less side effects. But again, those are like palliative things. You're on vacation, it's a special meal. You want to eat it, you want to enjoy it, but not feel junky afterwards, then we may do that. We may also add in more enzymes and acids to better break the food down. A lot of these foods that we have problems with, inflammation from the food's an issue, but we tend to be more intolerant too, where we don't break the molecule down. The molecule, whatever that molecule is, let's say it's casein or gluten, in a bigger form, it creates more inflammation. As it gets broken down more and more and more, and we're able to get it into a peptide form, it tends to be easier for us to digest. Same with lactose, right? You don't break lactose down all the way, what happens? Big molecules of lactose create bloating, create diarrhea, right? That's why you look at some of the milk products. What do? They add lactate, which is either they pull the lactose out or they add enzymes to it to help your body be able to neutralize it. So same thing. So with binders, we will do those to help either palliatively food. We may do it when we're doing gut killing protocols. So in my line, we have different clearing herbs that we'll use. And let's say we are doing a killing protocol for H. pylori in SIBO. Maybe the person has high levels of Klebsiella and Pseudomonas and lots of H. pylori. We may do different herbs, whether it's like our GI Clear 2 or 1 or high-dose berberine or golden seal or different neem, things like that to help knock down bacteria, or mastigum or clove or even bismuth to bring the H. pylori down. We can have a lot of lipopolysaccharide or endotoxin, same thing, same terminology, that can come out. And imagine like the more healthy you are, you got a big trash bucket. That's going to be your detoxification, your lymphatic system, your body's ability to take from the tissue, move it into the blood, move it through the liver, back into liver, gallbladder, out into the intestines. So the more we have that lymphatic of being able to move that stuff through and get it out, kidneys and stool, the better. But if our system is just too small, it's like throwing trash into our trash basket, but it's overflowing. Now it's on the ground. Now we have flies. Now it stinks in your kitchen, right? Now you start to have maggots growing. That's what essentially die-off is. And so the first rule of die-off is start slowly. Increase killing slowly so we don't overwhelm it. We find out what you can tolerate. And then maybe we do things that support lymphatics. So like in my GI Clear 4, we put burdock root in there to support the lymphatics. We add in things like ginger tea, ginger juice tea, which is much more powerful, recommended in the GAPS diet, to help with the lymphatics, to help with inflammation, to help allow things to move better. So we'll do those things to help really help your body and your lymphatics be able to move things. So those are all really good. SIAC tea uses a lot of things like that, different rhubarb and burdock and different herbs that really move the lymph, poke root, things like that. So talking about lymphatic, talking about killing, so we want to taper on that. Then we want to potentially add in binders. We can wait till we have a negative reaction as we taper the herbs up. Oh, here's a negative reaction. We can pull those herbs back, or potentially add a binder in there to see if maybe that allows us to go higher to a more therapeutic dose on the herbs. my starting recommendation is let's just start with 1 capsule at bedtime, see how we do. The biggest side effect with a lot of binders are going to be constipation. And so if you're prone to constipation, you may want to be on a little bit of magnesium to keep things just a little bit loose. And then if you're having diarrhea, or if you're having, let's say you're having a little bit more constipation due to the binder, then you can always just increase more of that natural motility support that you were using. Again, I hate to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul, but if that's holding us back from getting to a therapeutic dose, then we may want to say, hey, let's increase the killing, use the binder, and then if we have to deal, but if the die-off goes away but the constipation goes up, then we can at least lever that back down with our migrating motility complex support. So that's helpful out of the gates. And we may do it once or just twice a day. I always default to just keeping it simple, 1 capsule at bedtime. We may have to go higher, right? It depends on the patient and where they're at. Most patients tend to have this no pain, no gain mindset, and they tend to cause more problems when they dose up their herbs. It's like the bane of my existence as a practitioner. It's like, well, the first rule of functional medicine, right? Kind of like the first rule of Fight Club, right? Is do not make yourself feel worse. That's the first rule of functional medicine. Patients over a decade plus have broken that rule every time, and it absolutely shatters my heart. The first reason why someone's coming to see me is they want to feel better. So don't make yourself feel worse. Number one. Number two, calibrate the dose. I want to individualize the protocol for the patient. Some patients can handle a lot. Some patients handle a little. And so I want to customize that dose, and we may support the lymph. We may support binders to really help that. We may have to have some extra motility support there too, in case someone's a little bit more sensitive. But again, when we do killing, most patients, they come out of the gate with that. We have this kind of antibiotic, kind of kill mindset from, I think, just conventional medicine and antibiotics being overprescribed. That's what we want to do, and that's kind of our initial propensity to jump in that direction. But we really want to set the table. We want to get the food, the inflammation, the motility. We want to get the digestion better. We want to get our regularity better. We want to get our hormones in our gut looking better, inflammation down, and then the body's ready for that. And so part of it is the order of operations. Most doctors don't have the right order of operations, in my opinion, just based on my clinical experience of 5,000 plus patients and working with doctors that train me, that the order of operations is really important, and most people miss that. But the goal of today's video is how to use a binder. And so we want to use it once a day, maybe twice a day, depending on the severe die-off. And we want to calibrate those herbs so those herbs are not creating the problem in the first place. But if we're in that rock and a hard place, that's how we'll dose that up. And we do it typically 2 hours after food and supplements and 1 hour before. That's usually a pretty good place. So 2 hours after, empty stomach, 1 hour before food and sups. The hardest time is if someone's doing probiotics. We'll have them do, let's say dinner's at 6 or 7. Probiotics are at 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later, and then maybe a binder an hour after that. And that's usually a pretty good in-between option. Or if you're waking up in the morning, wake up, probiotics first thing, do your hydration, electrolytes, eat 30 minutes to 40 after that, and then maybe your binders 2 hours in between breakfast and lunch, then you throw your binders in there. So that's a good little option there of how you would incorporate that. So these are all different things, different tools in our functional medicine tool belt that we may pull out from time to time to kind of help address some of these issues if they come up. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It may not be relevant to you. If it is, great. So definitely go out to my patients, because I get these questions all the time from my patients, and a lot of my videos come from my patients' recommendations, because I want to be that extra support in the video that can be listened to over and over again, and it helps you guys out. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know, comments down below. And if you want to reach out, if you have gut issues, digestive problems, motility issues, chronic inflammation, and you want to dive in deeper, there'll be a link down below where you can reach out and get started. We'll see if you're a good fit for care. All right, guys, if you enjoyed, let me know. Thumbs up. Have a good one. Bye, y'all.